Hi again then guys, and so we've got another PP specific X tune setup for you today. This is where, for those who are unfamiliar with this series, we take a car which has massive racing potential and basically just turn it into the ultimate racing machine that it can be. Maximum PP, maximum power, and ultra lightweight. And in this particular episode we are tuning the TVR Speed 12, the Blackpool Beast itself, one of my personal favourite cars. And I've gone for racing soft tyres. You don't have to, of course, but that's what I've gone for. As far as the brakes, I've opted to increase the front brake balance to 6. Again, you don't necessarily have to do that, and if you opt not to use ABS, that does make it more inclined to lock up, so you do need to be careful with that. As far as the ride height, we've got the front ride height as low as possible, the rear 10mm higher to both improve the look of the car and also to give it a slightly better turn in. For the springs, we've got them all the way up to 1725 and 1125, the dampers and anti-roll as low as possible, unusually for a track car, the camber and toe neutral. We'll come back to the gearbox in just a second. For the diff, you definitely want the lowest initial torque because this car naturally has extremely heavy amounts of understeer. Acceleration and braking we've got as high as possible for the same reason, to keep that as loose as possible under both acceleration and braking. As far as the power, very simple, just fit everything. You can go for the supercharger, but it doesn't give you quite as good performance or spec. I haven't fitted NOS, but of course you could do that. We're running the maximum downforce, and I am running a custom rear wing on this model, and of course you want the full weight loss package. Finally, for the gearbox, we've got an auto setting of 249, then for the individual gears 4, 25, 50, 18, 25, 13, 75, 10, 75 and 8, 75 with a final drive of 3.1. And so that's it for the mechanical setup overall. So now let's take it out to the Nuremberg Ring to see what it can do. Overall, the Speed 12 is already a natural choice for turning into a high-performance race car because it essentially already is a race car. TVR actually had to make the car less powerful in order for it to be eligible for the GT1 class back in the 90s. And the most surprising thing I would say about the Speed 12 as a track car is the handling. With so much power and so much torque in a car that hardly weighs anything and has rear-wheel drive and the majority of its weight over the front end, you'd expect it to be an extremely slippery car, especially considering that that's what TVRs are usually known for. The Speed 12, though, is the exact opposite. The handling is actually extremely heavy, rather than being too light. It's actually too heavy. So much so that you have to have your anti-roll, etc. unusually low, as you saw from the tune setup, to actually make up for that. But when you do that, this car does make a fantastic track car. The handling is still very heavy, and the style of driving that I would recommend for this model is actually to use your brakes while you're cornering. Because usually with a car, obviously you brake, then you corner, then you accelerate out of the corner. With this car, you actually need to hold your brakes while you turn in order for that actually to improve the handling. But overall, it's a car which loves to be treated badly. It is a beast. You need to treat it like a beast. The acceleration is insane, and around this track it is quicker than the McLaren F1, which has a slightly higher PP, showing that this car certainly is highly capable as a track car. So for those of you who decide to use this build for the Speed 12, obviously I hope you find it fun, crazy and competitive at the 660 PP level. And if you're new to the channel and would like to keep up with other X builds and various other tunes and custom builds like this as soon as they're released, be sure to hit subscribe down below. And as always, thanks for watching.